With superior service, bumper to bumper, we'll treat your vehicle like it's your mother's. Doesn't get any better than that. So call 402-488-8934 and HIS Auto will make you glad you did. 5% off, mention this ad, and for sure your mother will be proud you called. 402-488-8934, HIS Auto Care, 70th and Van Doren. God bless you.
The Huskers are headed to the Pinstripe Bowl. Cheer on the Huskers in New York City on the official Husker Pinstripe Bowl tour offered by the Nebraska Alumni Association. Your bowl package includes a 2-night hotel stay, round-trip transportation on game day, pregame events, and more. Spots are limited, so book your spot now on the official Husker Pinstripe Bowl tour with the Nebraska Alumni Association. Go to HuskerFanTravel.com or call 888-831-0858. That's 888-831-0858 or HuskerFanTravel.com.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet. KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket. Welcome into the LIBA Business Hour, sponsored by Nats to Tasseling, highlighting local independent businesses in and around Lincoln on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Here's your host, LIBA Executive Director Travis Filing and Gary Tharnish.
And good morning. You're listening to the LIBA Business Hour on 93.7 The Ticket. And with me today is Gary, still out. He's still recovering from having surgery. So Pam is filling in. How you doing, Pam?
Pretty good. I mean, I took a little biff on the sidewalk out here on my way in this morning, so be careful out there.
Yeah,
man.
I wonder if somebody caught that on camera.
Oh, it's right at the stoplight, so I know it's on camera.
Good.
I'll probably see it in my next election, right?
That would be a hilarious ad.
I didn't say any potty words when I biffed. I just want, if you think you could get a head injury, you never want to say swear words because you might get stuck in that spot in your brain.
Oh, man.
Did you know that, John?
I had no idea. That's new information. Thank you.
Well, with us today is John Olson and Associates. Oh, there we go. What an intro. We even have theme music for you, John. How about that?
Love it. Thank you.
How are you today?
I'm wonderful. Doing really good.
Good.
Thanks for asking.
Fantastic. So today we just wanted to talk about Olson and Associates and how the company got started and how long you've been there and so forth. So let's kind of roll back. Let's start because you didn't start Olson, right?
I decidedly did not. We've been around for almost 70 years, and I'm not anywhere near 70 years old, so I can't get any claim for that. But yeah.
So who started it?
Yeah, so Olson was started by my father,
okay,
John E. Olson, and he is the second son of his Swedish immigrant parents. So they settled in Queens, New York, back in the late 1890s or so. John, my dad, was born in, I think, 1926 and grew up in Queens, went to the Merchant Marine Academy. And then in 1946, after serving a year in the U.S. Navy on the USS Spokane, decided to spread his wings a little bit and head west. In the same way his parents went west from Sweden to USA, he thought, well, I've got some family out in Nebraska. This might be a chance to try something new. So in 1946, came to Nebraska, enrolled at the University of Nebraska to get a degree in engineering, actually mechanical engineering.
Best engineering college ever.
I love the University of Nebraska. They have wonderful students, super smart, hardworking. Then in 1956, he was done with college. No, that was 1951, sorry. And then went to work for a smaller engineering firm, got his professional engineering license. And when he had that, he's like, okay, I've got this ability now to build a business. What do I want to do? Do I want to start a business? Do I want to go up to Minnesota and work for this larger corporation? He said, you know what? I'm going to give this a try. So in 1956, he hung a shingle up in the wall, and that was the beginning of, at the time, what was called John E. Olson Consulting Engineers.
Wow.
One employee with my mom typing letters. So
very cool.
Yeah.
That's outstanding.
Yeah.
And it's grown exponentially. Because I was trying to tell somebody the other day, I'm like, he's in like 6 or 7 states, or maybe even more than that.
Well, we're right now about 2,100 employees. We do projects in just about every state in the nation. We have employees in probably 30 states. So we're truly a national firm now, and it began right here in Lincoln, Nebraska, and it's still our home to this day.
How cool is that?
Yeah.
I mean, that's the message when you start out brand new. I remember when we were a one-person operation and became two, and then you slowly start growing, and now here it is, 70 years later, 2,100 employees. Started right here in Lincoln. That is awesome. Absolutely awesome. So now on engineering, it's, and I'm so glad Pam's here because she can help ask the intelligent questions. But in engineering, is it kind of like, are there specialties, kind of like lawyers? You know, do you have specialties within engineering?
Well, Pam and I could talk for a long time about this.
Forever.
We could. So engineering is probably one of the most diverse fields out there, right? I mean, there's so many different kinds of disciplines between civil, mechanical, electrical. Pam and I come from the civil engineering side, which generally deals with things that get built, but
The best side.
the best side,
best side,
absolutely.
yeah.
Yeah. But within civil, there's just so many different pathways to go. And I think the thing that, um, I think people need to know about engineering, you may think it's just about cranking out math problems. There's a whole nother side to engineering that's super attractive. It's just a great field. It's a lot of fun. Two engineers in the room. One of them is a coach, a radio talk host. A couple of them are elected officials. I mean, there's just so many different things you can do with an engineering degree, and it's just a lot of fun.
And I think people don't realize that the projects take a long time, and I used to always say there's only about 400 steps to a successful land development project, only 400, right? And if you miss one, your life is going to be hell. But as long as you execute all the steps, it's going to be good. But the average person doesn't see the 400 steps. But the other thing, the average person that we might not wrap our head around in the built environment is when John and I are putting passion into what we do and what we design and what we oversee, it's going to be there for more than 100 years. And there's not a lot of things you can touch in a career that lasts for 100 years. But it's our stuff.
It's our stuff. Yeah. And you get to drive by it every day and say, hey, there's a little bit of my fingerprint on this particular project. And to see the impact that the things that we do have on a community is just super inspiring. It keeps me coming into work every day with a fire in my belly and a spring in my step.
And that would be cool. I mean, especially 100 years from now, your grandkids, great grandkids go, oh, my grandpa built that. That would be really cool.
Yeah, it does kind of alter your family vacations. I remember as a young kid, we'd be driving by a wastewater treatment plant all the time, or stopping to look at maybe a small power plant in Bolin. So, these things kind of stick with the people that work on them.
Was it good or was it bad?
Some of it was good, but I heard a few stories about things that didn't always go so well too. So,
Come on, Dad. Let's go to Disneyland. This is a sewer plant.
I actually made my husband to be. I selected our location on where we were going on vacation and where we were staying based on this new suspension bridge that I always wanted to see and walk across. It's like a 2-mile suspension bridge, and I'm like so stoked about it, and he's like, wah wah.
Yeah, that's all right. Just deal with it, right? Yeah,
he'll learn.
He's learning really well.
Yeah. I always laugh when my kids were little, being in advertising. My son was like 6 or 7 at the time, and this TV commercial came on, and it was horrible, right? I'm sure he picked up the vibe from me. And my son looks at me and he goes, "What is this company trying to tell me?" Very good, son. So you start critiquing everybody else's work. But so now, what is your specialty? Is civil engineering, or are there practices within civil engineering? I would assume there's probably bridges and buildings, and
there are, there are bridges. You could do water and wastewater. You could do land development. You could do geotechnical. You could do structural engineering. I mean, these are all elements or components within civil engineering.
What is geotechnical?
I thought that might be a question.
Yes, I'm sitting here going, geotechnical. I'm not even going to pretend.
You want to take it, John?
Well, in a simple word, it's dirt, right? I mean, things have to be built on something, right? The foundation. So what is the underlying earth? What does it look like? How does it need to be modified to accommodate whatever you want to put on it?
I mean, Travis, it's hard to wrap your head around that. There are people that spend their entire careers studying dirt. There are PhDs in geotechnical, which, they're studying how the dirt compacts, how it fits together, how much stuff you can put on top of it. It's crazy. It's super awesome. There's a professor down at the university that his life study is gravel. And I love this guy. He probably doesn't have a lot of fans, but I'm like a big fan. And we need to keep studying these things and figuring out how to make things better.
Yeah. Well, go ahead.
Go ahead, please.
Well, I was just going to say, I mean, I think a lot of the work of engineers maybe isn't, you don't really know about it because it just kind of happens behind the scenes.
Yeah.
But if it's not done right, you got a lot of issues to
Yeah.
deal
It's
with,
kind of, you only get attention when things go south.
pretty much.
Yeah. That's unfortunate, but you have to look around. You look at all these buildings that are in town and they're 100 and 150 years old and go, wow, somebody really knew what they were doing when they put this thing together. So that's really cool.
Yeah.
So what's your favorite part of engineering? Do you have a specialty?
Well, I did have a specialty, so I came up through the water side. So I
Okay.
spent a lot of time in the beginning out in the field watching things get built, helping the contractor work through the plans and the specs. I kind of miss those days, right? Just kind of being out in the dirt on the ground level. But, today I'm kind of more of a corporate guy. So I think about strategy and growing the company and providing a thriving workplace for people to expand their career and find joy in their life. So yeah.
When you started, now you went to Colorado School of Mines
And Nebraska.
and Nebraska. Okay.
Yeah.
So is engineering a add-on, kind of like a doctorate, or do you just get a degree in engineering?
Well, you get a degree in engineering if that's what you want to do. And
Okay.
then, I think, Pam and I, and, on the business side, a lot of that you kind of learn on the job, right?
Mhm.
You can go to school and then, get an MBA, which we've seen a lot of people do. But I think the engineering business is pretty unique, and just being able to experience that and grow it as a company, you learn a lot along the way.
So did you
Absolutely.
go right to Olson when you graduated? Was that the plan, or did you do something else?
Yeah, it was never the plan. So it took 5 years for me to get through college. Just had to make sure it needed a little extra time, I guess. But anyway, after that, I went down to Oklahoma and worked for an oil and gas company, thinking that that's where I would spend the rest of my life. I never grew up thinking I would come back to Olson, but in 1989, our then current CEO reached out and said, "Hey, we need a guy to stick up in Valentine, Nebraska for 8 months to build a plant. Would you and Jody be interested in coming home?" And I thought to myself, well, shoot, if I'm ever gonna try this out, see what this business is like, now is probably the time. So in 89, I came, and we had 50 people, and I've never looked back.
Wow. So 50 people, that's how big Olson was, or?
At that time, yeah, in
Okay.
89, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And do you have any siblings in the business?
I have no siblings in the business, but our oldest son, Matt, works for Olson out in Colorado.
Okay.
Oh yeah, that's
Very good.
kind of exciting.
Engineer as well, or is he on the business side? Or
He's an engineer, yeah. And I have another son that's also an engineer, but he works for a competing firm in Minnesota.
What?
So, yeah.
do you have is your business in it with all the states? It's probably in Minnesota as well, right?
We do work in Minnesota, but we don't have an office there. But it's he's in a good spot there. They're taking good care of him where he's at. So,
Oh, that's great.
yeah, it's a good company.
That's cool to
Yeah.
see your kids coming into the business and have a passion for the business, because that's one thing, again, with our business, my kids have no interest in marketing, and that's just fine. If it's not your passion, don't take it over, because a lot of people are expecting whoever takes over this business to know what they're doing, have a passion, and move forward. So that's really cool.
Yeah.
Very good. So, did you have a question? You started to move.
Just I know. I'm trying to give you a little clue time over there, Travis. Your
We're
wife,
still trying to figure each other out.
your wife told me I needed to be more direct with the clues. She did not. I'm just kidding.
Absolutely. Well,
But
she would tell you that.
She probably would. So I think, John, one of the things that I'd like to talk about is more the Olson's office and the philosophy of Olson, because I do think that your firm has been able to grow and be successful because of those base philosophies and the culture in the firm. And then also the investment that Olson makes in the community. And so I'm just total softball for an
Yeah.
engineer. I apologize. But I think that people don't necessarily talk to engineers about the passion that we have and about our leadership. They're just like, oh, that's that nerdy engineer over in the corner. But it does take, you mentioned strategy, that you work on strategy. It does take a lot of strategy and a lot of thought to put together these teams and make them successful.
Yeah, no, I think culture's everything, right? I mean, I think as the company's evolved over the years from one person to 50 to now 2,100, how do we maintain that culture over the years? We hear from folks wondering, well, with the trajectory we're on, are we going to be able to maintain that culture? And I think we've always had a focus on the employees, right? That's what we think about every day, is creating opportunities for our staff to work on projects in a new geography or work on a project that's in uh, a higher complexity. So I think it's about, always thinking to the future, about creating opportunities for our staff and taking good care of them. We try to be as open as we can. We have a ton of transparency. We certainly allow for freedom and flexibility for folks to find that work-life balance, which is super important right now. But at the end of the day, I think it's kind of our passion for growth and just being motivated by that every day, with a little bit of an entrepreneurial spirit built in about where do we go next with this organization.
So where do you find your employees now? Is there a specific, are engineers difficult? Are there a lot of people going into engineering? I know both of you, that's probably a question for both of you. Is it
Yeah.
tough?
It is tough. I would say right now the single largest impediment to our growth is finding good people.
Mhm.
We've done a good job. We have a great partnership with the university here. I think last summer we employed across the company about 160 interns, and about half of those were right here in Nebraska.
Oh, wow.
So our idea is to try to get them interested in the firm early and then put them to work during the summer, hopefully keep them around during the spring and the fall, and then hire as many as we can.
Yeah.
But there's great talent coming out of this university. They're smart and they're hardworking. So I would put a university grad up against any grads from any community that we're in.
Yeah, that's something that we put together years and years ago, pre-COVID, was we had a lot of interns coming down to our marketing firm, and what a great opportunity to vet them, see what their work ethic is, kind of train them, and then find the good ones and hold on to them. So do you have the same problem though?
So yeah, absolutely. At the county, it's difficult. And then it's also difficult at the county to promote from within.
Mm,
So if I get a really great intern, and there was a few years ago, I had 3 really awesome interns and no position,
mm,
right? So we've taught them the county process, we've taught them the expectations, we've taught them how to put together plans, and now you're like, I can't really bring them on. And in that case, we went ahead and just started calling other firms that we worked with, and kind of made sure that those individuals stayed in Nebraska, because it's a benefit to all,
yeah.
right? It's a
Mhm.
benefit. And so I have a little different, I don't view with the county where I'm not necessarily competing. I just want to make sure that people stay in the area. And I know that, hey, some of my young engineers are going to reach a point where they maybe want something different, and they may go to a consulting firm. And it's still a benefit to me, because if I contract with that consulting firm, that engineer knows our expectations and our standards. So in my role in government, I get to be a little more holistic with it, where when I was in consulting, like John, you know, you wrap your arms around everybody and try to keep them really close to you, and you don't want them to go compete with you in another firm. It's different. So, but
Yeah.
I'd like to ask John,
Yeah.
because you and I have talked a ton over the years. You're a great peer, and I've always super admired you and the things you've done. But what project are you most proud of in your career?
Oh my, that's a great question. And I think I would have to. I've been part of a lot of really cool projects, but for me, the crown jewel was the West Haymarket redevelopment when that
Yeah.
came around in 2010. That was you wouldn't know it today from looking at it, but where most of that West Haymarket used to be railroad
Oh, yeah.
storage tracks, right? It wasn't much.
Really
Yeah.
ugly,
Oh,
really
man.
ugly
It's
railroad.
pretty ugly. Anything west of the old train station was just nothing. But to be part of the team that got to reevaluate that plan about, okay, we're going to build a new arena. Where is it going to go? Well, we found a spot for that, and then everything else that was built up around the arena, which, and even our building is there now too.
Mhm.
But I think that helped reshape the community, and being a part of these projects that transform a community. That's what it's all about. That is so fun to be part of.
It's funny, when I first moved here, I actually took the train to Denver, which I don't recommend. But back when the old train station was down there, I think it's probably still down there. I don't know. I never took the train again. But I remember walking around in the middle of the night, because the train's supposed to leave at midnight, and they usually leave it 5 hours later. And I remember walking around going, "This is just awful," and it was just such a kind of a wasteland. And so hats off to you. That is a beautiful project down there, and it's the Haymarket has really thrived since everything got put in. So that's outstanding.
And I think what's interesting about that project is it was really promoted as something for the college and young professionals. But whenever I'm down there, it's really people more our age hanging out, having a great time. And so, hey, John, thanks for making a place for us to hang out.
Oh, absolutely. It's it's a fun environment down there. It's a good place to be.
Yeah.
Very good. Well, we've got a break coming up here. So when we come out of it, a couple of things I want to talk about are like maybe AI, because that's really affecting business, and how COVID impacted your business, or if it impacted your business. So stick around. We're going to be talking with John Olson of Olson & Associates on the other side of the break. You're listening to the LIBA Business Hour on 93.7 The Ticket.
At Midwest Bank, they want to thank all the generous donors who helped make their 2024 Turkey Drive for Schools a success. Thanks to the generosity, they raised enough money to provide 153 families across 6 different schools in Lincoln with a full Thanksgiving meal. With your support, they made Thanksgiving Day for those families a little brighter. They want to wish everyone a Merry Christmas. Your community, your bank. Midwest Bank. Member FDIC.
Hi everyone, Kendall Warnock with A1 Automotive in downtown Lincoln. If you're looking for an automotive repair facility you can genuinely trust, we would be grateful for the opportunity to earn your business repairing your vehicle. We have ASE master technicians and qualified to work on a variety of vehicles from Hondas to Porsches, Jaguars to Toyotas, and Chevrolets to Fords. We pride ourselves on customer service and relationships, and we would be grateful for the opportunity to serve you. Give us a call at 402-477-4660. A1 Automotive, always honest answers.
You can help fight deadly diseases like RSV and influenza while getting paid for your time. Velocity Clinical Research is now seeking clinical trial participants in your area. Participants can receive compensation for study-related time. No health insurance is needed to join. Find a study near you at velocitytrials.com. That's velocitytrials.com.
You're counting on your team to win, so why not prove it? By placing your bets at Warhorse Sportsbook. Their win is your win. Put your money where your mouth is on nearly every sporting event. Use the Warhorse app to check odds and build your bets before placing your wagers in person at Warhorse Casino, including live in-game betting. No bets, no glory. Wagers may only be placed on Nebraska-based teams when played outside the state of Nebraska. Must be 21 or older to gamble. Gambling problem? Call 1-833-BET-OVER.
This is former Husker and NFL linebacker Jay Foreman. For years, I've suffered from degenerative problems in both of my ankles, but thanks to a thorough and thought-out plan provided by Advanced Medical Imaging, I was able to get my life back with the least amount of pain as possible. While working through multiple options, the team of physicians at Advanced Medical Imaging were there to answer any questions I had. If you're experiencing any pain at all and want to get your life back, go to amimaging.com or give them a call at 402-484-6677. Advanced Medical Imaging, located at 7601 Pioneers Boulevard.
Nebraska's Christmas Light Show is back and bigger than ever. The Magical Lights of Lincoln Christmas Show runs from Black Friday through New Year's Eve at Sandhills Global Event Center. Bring the family for a show they'll never forget, featuring over 1.5 million lights. Cost is $25 per vehicle from Monday through Thursday, $30 on Friday and Saturday, and also $30 on Christmas Eve and day. Purchase your tickets online today at christmaslightsinlincoln.com and get ready to experience a drive-through light show like you've never seen before.
Why are some people more successful? Is it talent and determination, or did they recognize an opportunity? Discover a career that lets you help families reach their financial goals as you build lasting professional relationships, one with unlimited income potential. From Modern Woodman, a leading fraternal financial services provider.
I'm Modern Woodman Regional Director Sean Erickson. Call me at 402-483-6515 to learn about career opportunities.
Modern Woodman of America, touching lives, securing futures.
Every home is different. Every family is different. So when it comes to a new heating and cooling system, why not get what fits you best? Get the perfect fit with Bryant. Maybe you need higher efficiency, better humidity control, increased warranty, or all the bells and whistles. Bryant provides options in warranty, brand, comfort, and efficiency while maximizing savings. Call 467-1111 or visit BryantLincoln.com. Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing. We do whatever it takes.
Bagels and Joe is the perfect place for breakfast or lunch in December. Try one of their delicious breakfast sandwiches or grilled breakfast burritos. Don't forget to snag a gift card for stocking stuffers and bring your family in from out of town. 4 locations in Lincoln and 1 in Seward. Bagels and Joe.
Hi, Sean Callahan here of HuskerOnline.com, inviting you to join us here on 93.7 The Ticket every Saturday morning now in our new time. We're on from 8 to 9 with the weekly Husker Online radio show. We'll give you the latest in recruiting. We'll talk about what's going on with both football, basketball, and we'll probably share a few stories from the inside. It's every Saturday morning right here on 93.7 The Ticket. It's the Husker Online radio show from 8 to 9 a.m.
When you need a new water heater, nothing beats the ProLine family of water heaters from A.O. Smith. ProLine models are built using commercial-grade components, meaning they're built to help you tackle your toughest days. No matter if you need a gas or electric model, A.O. Smith has a ProLine unit for you. A.O. Smith, innovation has a name. Call Greens at 402-467-4444 for a great deal on a water heater today. Again, that's 402-467-4444.
Back to the LIBA Business Hour on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. This segment sponsored by Ascend Aesthetics.
And you're back listening to the LIBA Business Hour. We're talking with John Olson of Olson. I got it right that time. So one thing I wanted to talk about, the one great equalizer in business that we all had to deal with was COVID. And some people thrived during COVID. A lot of people went under during COVID. Did you guys see any slowdown in business? Did it pick up? How did it affect you?
Yeah, I think the COVID years for us were okay. All right. It didn't impact us a whole lot. You know, we don't produce anything. Most everything we do is on a computer. It's ones and zeros, and we deal with intellectual property.
Mm-hmm.
So for us, being successful but for the most part means having a computer in front of you. And for the most part, our IT group already had us set up in a position where we could go and work from home without missing a beat. So we just powered right through COVID. And besides for having to just kind of adjust how we do our work, everything else seemed to go pretty good.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's great.
So,
but there was no slowdown in projects or?
Not so much. I mean, there was maybe fewer projects, but behind it, projects started to roll in. There was a lot of federal funding, obviously, that
A lot
came
of
in.
federal funding.
Yeah, that helped drive a lot of business forward for us. So, by and large, I think, I don't want to repeat it, but
yeah, no, I'm good.
None of us do.
One's enough.
None of us do.
One
is too many.
Yeah.
Did you have the same going into COVID?
We had a little bit, the county was a little bit more of a struggle because it's been a modernization effort over the last decade for me. And so that was kind of the moment at which, if you hadn't been able to embrace doing your work digitally and you maybe had covered up for it a little bit, you were just out. I mean, we didn't like throw people out, but you just struggled so badly that we couldn't really figure out how to get you back on track. So
yeah, and having people work from home, because you had people working from home
absolutely.
too. That has to be a struggle because we didn't close. I mean, we have every single one of our employees, they have their own office, and so there was really no commingling, so to speak. So it was nothing for us to worry about. We just went into our offices and did our thing. So, but I could imagine trying to manage these people and making sure that they're doing the work that they're supposed to be doing can be a struggle.
It could be a struggle. You really need to have trust in your employees,
Mm-hmm.
honestly, and we do. So I think probably the downside was when people aren't together, your culture's stretched a little bit because culture gets established by people being together. So that's kind of one of the negatives of all this. Is, not having people elbow to elbow quite as much just to learn and,
right.
Get excitement for one another.
Well, and sometimes I would imagine in engineering, it's you have a problem and you're just wherever you're at and you bump into somebody and go, gosh, I'm having this problem. Can you give me some thoughts? Give me some ideas. You lose a lot of that.
You do.
I mean, that's one thing we lost in marketing is you sit there and you have those round tables, so to speak, which you bump into somebody in the hallway and you talk about a project and they throw a weird idea out and then something clicks and it changes the whole project. So yeah, now, did you bring everybody back to the office?
It's there's really not a mandate. There's variations that we have. We've left it up largely to the employee and the team that they're part of.
Mm-hmm.
So they kind of decide on a very organic basis what's best for them, so long as the work gets done and gets done well. We're encouraging people to come in, but there's a little bit of everything. We've got remote employees and, in Michigan and North Carolina and New York, um, you know, because it's so hard to attract and talent right now, you've got to be flexible in terms of how you let them work.
Yeah, because the employees are really I don't want to say they're in control, not that anybody's in control, but they have options. And some of those options are if they like to work from home, they can find a company that's going to work for them. So you better adapt because they're going to go work somewhere else if that's the environment that they want to be in.
That's exactly right. Yeah,
Yeah.
this is this free and open market right now. So
I think the difficult thing, Travis, is for growing a successful young engineer is that they do have to be in the office if they're going to reach that project management or that upward mobility part of their career, because it's so important that you have that development of the person. And if they're not going to be in the office, or if you've embraced more remote, and even, when I had my engineering company, I did have a remote employee, that you have to, as a manager, then make sure that you're continuously reaching out to that person throughout the day, which is really hard when you're in that management role and you have all these other things kind of pounding on you all day long. That I got to be sure to reach out to this person and make sure that we're bringing them along so that they can be successful in the future.
Yeah. So now one thing that is affecting a lot of business, mine included, is AI. I mean, AI is kind of it's good and it's terrifying at the same time because it could very well be starting to replace people. I know when it comes time to just kind of get the ball rolling on something, I go to AI just to get me started because sometimes staring at that blank cursor is a nightmare. Is AI affecting engineering?
I would say 100%.
Okay.
It's affecting engineering, and I think there's a couple ways to look at this. You could be afraid of it and run from it, or you could lean into it and embrace it. Um, you know, for us, the way we've seen AI and innovation probably manifest itself the most is in the area of surveying. There's not a ton of people out there that are doing
right.
surveying anymore. It used to take a 3-person crew to go out and do a land survey. Someone to get behind a transit, someone to pull a steel tape and be on each end of it. But there's so many things from an innovation now on, with robotics and scanning, right, that you can do with machines what it used to take 3 people to do.
Wow. So how exactly would that work? I mean, how does AI plug into surveying?
Yeah, well, so it's a lot of it comes down to equipment purchases, and these are very, very expensive purchases. It's maybe a $600,000 piece of equipment that you have to invest in, but it just takes the place of people. It collects so much data, so many ones and zeros that have to go off to a data center somewhere to be stored, but it allows you to not need as many people to do it.
Wow. Because I know, I mean, that's one example. I have a piece of property that has 2 huge lots attached to it, but it's all one. And I need a surveyor to come out there and split this into 3 pieces of property. And I've been on this guy's waiting list for about a year. It's just, he doesn't have time. And it's a small project. And so it's like my ears perked up like, okay, how do I get AI down here to cut this thing up?
Yeah, yeah. I think that's, what we just talked about is probably more of an example of how technology has impacted the engineering industry. I think AI is a whole nother level where you've got, machine learning and things of that nature.
But we're not at a point where we can go, okay, I need to build this bridge, Chat GPT, right? I need to build a bridge, go.
It's going to be a while for that. But we've been at the point for a long time, Travis, where we could be like, this is the shape of our land and this is the road and the parameters of the road. And you could get a lot layout. We've been doing that for, what do you think, John? 12 years, 15 years, maybe?
Yeah.
So when we talk about AI, we maybe haven't necessarily embraced that. It's kind of just been creeping up on us, but now it's exponentially creeping up on us. And the CAD and the different things that we do, the reality is, as engineers, we have to go in that direction because we don't have enough people. And then what we haven't embraced, I think, as a society, Travis, is incrementally our projects keep getting better. And that means they need more data in order to be able to get to the goal and the expectations of the public. And the example I like to use, John, is In 1974, 75, we had 8 bridge failures in Lancaster County, and some of them failed with people on them.
Ooh.
And yet there's no record of lawsuit. Now, I'm really sure if one of my bridges fails today with someone on it, there's going to be a lawsuit. There's going to be, so
big,
there's just
yeah.
the expectation that our data and our data collections have gotten better.
Wow. So, so basically, it kind of gives you a starting point. It kind of accelerates that jumping off point, but it still takes a human being to sit down there and double check the calculations and all the math and everything else to make sure everything is correct.
That's absolutely. And at the end of the day, an engineer's seal has to go on those drawings.
Absolutely.
And
Yeah.
that person becomes the individual that's responsible for that. As engineers, our goal, our mandate is to preserve life, safety, and welfare of folks. And if bridges fall down, that's not good.
It's not a great day.
Yeah,
No.
can't go after Bill Gates and make him responsible for creating AI.
No. But what AI does is maybe take care of maybe some more mundane or repetitive tasks that we don't have to think about every day. And that way we can be a little sharper and focus on other parts of our business that need more attention.
Very good.
Yeah.
Very good. So now, during the break, we were kind of talking about, when we started chatting about AI, you were talking about data centers, and you're building a lot of data centers for AI.
For AI. I mean, all this information that's being gathered and collected, it has to be stored somewhere.
Right.
So, it's just kind of like a water storage tank is to a community. You
Mhm.
got to put your water in. I mean, with all this data, where are you going to put it? So these facilities they're all over the country. They're very large. They happen quick, but that's become a big part of our business right now.
How many are you working on roughly? Are you working on the one in Lincoln?
It's possible we could have some involvement in that one.
Okay.
It's
I
very
know that's
possible.
probably one of those, that one didn't mean to be a gotcha question.
Well,
It was
that's okay. Yeah. No, I just responded with a non-gotcha answer.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, because you probably have at any given point 10 or 100,000 projects that you guys are working on.
A lot of projects.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we see data centers all across the United States that we're involved in for some very familiar names. We'll just say that.
Very good.
Yeah.
So, and you also said that you guys do some federal highway projects. So what's that? Is working with the government a whole different animal when you're working with just somebody who's trying to build up a skyscraper or a data center?
Yeah, I think every different kind of client type that we work with has their own needs, has their own challenges. In the last 4 or 5 years, working for the public sector has been very, very robust right now, just given all the federal dollars that's been coming back into the economy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very good. So, I'm trying to think of what else to ask you, but I'm absolutely just drew a blank. Don't you love that?
I mean, I could have rescued you, Travis, but I confess I'm a little sick and I wanted to watch you struggle on the other end of the table. Sorry, man.
My wife's probably loving this. She loves to watch me squirm.
It's good. It needs to happen to you once in a while. It doesn't happen very often. So, what would be if you were to walk into your office and you had any asset, what would be the one thing that you would add to Olson and Associates right now to help you in the future?
Yeah, I would, that's a great question. What is the industry need right now? I mean, we've already talked about the demand for talent. The challenges, folks, individuals today are, when I entered this business, it was all about loyalty, right? You come in, you start with a company, you probably stay there for your whole life. That's kind of what you did. I think today, folks are curious about what's out there, right? So
Correct.
Creating a workplace where people are challenged, where they're invigorated, where they want to stay, so anything that I could bring to the table that would help increase loyalty would be something I'd be thinking about. I don't know exactly what that magic bullet is to help promote loyalty, other than just keeping an eye on the employee. And again, I think this growth mindset of having new challenges, new places to go with your work, and then also doing work that matters. That's why, mentioning the West Haymarket project, when people get to be involved in things like that make a community better, I think that's exciting for them. And they go home at the end of the day feeling really good about what they do.
Now, as you start moving from state to state, are laws and rules and regulations all different? Is that something that you guys have to do a lot of work learning, how to build a bridge in New York or how to build a building in New York versus Lincoln, Nebraska?
Yeah, I think each jurisdiction, whether it's a city or a county or a state, does have certain codes and guidelines that you have to kind of abide by. But there's a lot of commonality from one state to the next, so that's not too big of a challenge.
Okay.
Honestly, I mean, it's all there printed. You can get it figured out, but you start at scale, right? You don't move into a new state. For example, Arkansas, we started doing work down there about 6 years ago, did a small acquisition, but you start small, right?
Mhm.
Then you just build up and you scale up as you learn more so as to manage risk a little bit.
Right.
So do engineers have to be licensed? Are they licensed by the state? Are they licensed by the federal government? If I were an engineer, could I work in Nebraska today and work in Oklahoma tomorrow or not Arkansas next month?
Well, if you were licensed, how many states are you licensed in, John?
Me personally,
Yeah.
I think 6.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have 2. So, back I used to do some work in Iowa, so I still have my Iowa license because they're kind of hard to get. And so you're like, well, it's $50 to $80 every 2 years. I'm just going to keep that license. I don't know as though I'll have Iowa opportunities in my future, but I still have my Iowa license. I need to renew it today when I go home. The hard thing is keeping up with all these miscellaneous renewals, like which ones do I need to get on this year,
Yeah, you don't want to take a test again, so it's best to be on top of that.
So renewing it, you don't have to take a test just to keep.
You don't have to test, but you do have to do continuing education. I think generally 30 hours every couple of years, I think, is the
Yeah.
requirement.
So initially, people don't realize it's 2 tests. So it's one test called an engineer in training, 8-hour test, and it's the second test for your professional engineer's license.
And do you have to have so many hours before you can get that professional license? So people
4
work as
long
apprentices.
years.
4 years
4
on the
years.
job. This is outside of college.
Yeah.
Wow, that's a lot.
It's significant. I mean, you point all your life goals to that point for 8 years, and I think that's a critical point of leading engineering teams. And so then you have this young engineer who just got their license, right? And you have to kind of get in there really quick because now they're sitting there going like, well, what now? And what's my next goal?
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a lot.
And so what happens when you go take your test, what happens if you bust it?
No,
Right? That's
You take it again, Travis. You take it again.
But do you have, sometimes you have to, have a period of time, you have to have more work time. Is that for engineering? Does it work that way?
I think if you biff it a couple times, you maybe have to wait a year or something.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then continuing education, if you take 30 hours, is that good for one state or does that blanket for all the states that you renew?
For the most part, they're pretty transferable. There's a few states, I think Florida is one that I'm thinking of, and North Carolina, where they want you to take an hour every year of their ethics training. But for the most part, a lot of it's pretty transferable.
Oh, that's not bad.
Yeah.
Very good. Well, we have a break coming up, and then we will finish up with John Olson of Olson. And you're listening to the LIBA Business Hour on 93.7 The Ticket.
Volleyball is coming to Omaha this January. Featuring Olympic medalist Jordan Larson and Justine Wong-Arantes, Love Omaha Volleyball is Omaha's newest pro team. The inaugural season will showcase some of the world's best volleyball players, from medalists to NCAA champions and international superstars, with the action kicking off on January 24th at the Liberty First Credit Union Arena. Visit lovb.com for more information and to purchase tickets. Volleyball is the next major league.
Your home is your empire. Protect it with Empire Fence. Get a free instant quote with the online estimating tool at empire-fence.com. See an upfront estimate with no hidden fees. An Empire Fence can provide privacy and improve the appearance of your home. Keep kids and pets in or out of your yard. Increase security and add value to your property. Visit empire-fence.com now to view the stylish and maintenance-free possibilities for your home and get a free instant online quote. Let Empire Fence protect your empire.
If you're sick of catering from the same places every month, it's time to switch things up. Mulberry Barbecue is perfect for business lunches and dinners, family gatherings, holiday parties, wedding receptions, rehearsal dinners, and so much more. Delivery and full service options are available, and they can cater for anything from 10 people to 500 people. Call them at 402-937-7114 to look at their menu options and get your catering booked today. Mulberry Barbecue, located at 11th and Cornhusker Highway.
Dreaming of a green Christmas this year? Make it a reality with Acres. We're offering 0% for 60 months financing on most new John Deere compact tractors, Gator UTVs, and mowers. From moving snow to landscaping the perfect yard, John Deere equipment turns chores into child's play. Visit your local Acres store to start shopping today. Act now. These incentives expire December 31st, 2024. Financing requirements approved credit with John Deere Financial. Some restrictions may apply.
Nebraska's Christmas Light Show is back and bigger than ever. The Magical Lights of Lincoln Christmas Show runs from Black Friday through New Year's Eve at Sandhills Global Event Center. Bring the family for a show they'll never forget, featuring over 1.5 million lights. Cost is $25 per vehicle from Monday through Thursday, $30 on Friday and Saturday, and also $30 on Christmas Eve and day. Purchase your tickets online today at ChristmasLightsInLincoln.com and get ready to experience a drive-through light show like you've never seen before.
Every home is different. Every family is different. So when it comes to a new heating and cooling system, why not get what fits you best? Get the perfect fit with Bryant. Maybe you need higher efficiency, better humidity control, increased warranty, or all the bells and whistles. Bryant provides options in warranty, brand, comfort, and efficiency while maximizing savings. Call 467-1111 or visit BryantLincoln.com. Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing. We do whatever it takes.
Your home is your empire. Protect it with Empire Fence. Get a free instant quote with the online estimating tool at empire-fence.com. See an upfront estimate with no hidden fees. An Empire Fence can provide privacy and improve the appearance of your home. Keep kids and pets in or out of your yard. Increase security and add value to your property. Visit empire-fence.com now to view the stylish and maintenance-free possibilities for your home and get a free instant online quote. Let Empire Fence protect your empire.
Automotive Solutions is Lincoln's one-stop shop for all your vehicle needs, from vinyl wraps to engine repair and maintenance. Automotive Solution offers fleet services as well as printing and graphic design for vinyl applications, plus installation of vinyl for boats, trucks, cars, and anything else you want wrapped. Perfection is their standard, and they never settle for less. Call today at 531-249-5600 or go to automotivesolutionslincoln.com to learn more. That's Automotive Solutions, 2040 Southwest 5th Street in Lincoln.
Hey Husker Nation, this is Todd Euler, two-time national champion, here to talk to you about Window World Lincoln. At Window World, we specialize in replacement windows, doors, siding, and roofing. Whether you're looking to enhance the beauty of your home or increase its energy efficiency, we've got you covered. And here's the best part. We offer the best for less. Our team is dedicated to providing top quality products and exceptional service at affordable prices. We want to earn your business and make your home improvement dreams a reality. So why wait? Contact Window World Lincoln today at 464-7313 or visit our website at windowworldlincoln.com. Window World Lincoln, where quality meets affordability.
Hi everyone, Kendall Warnock with A1 Automotive in downtown Lincoln. If you're looking for an automotive repair facility you can genuinely trust, we would be grateful for the opportunity to earn your business repairing your vehicle. We have ASE master technicians and qualified to work on a variety of vehicles from Hondas to Porsches, Jaguars to Toyotas, and Chevrolets to Fords. We pride ourselves on customer service and relationships, and we would be grateful for the opportunity to serve you. Give us a call at 402-477-4660. A1 Automotive, always honest answers.
Have you been accused of a crime and don't know where to turn? At Liberty Law Group, we understand that a call to an attorney is a call for help. If you're up against the legal system, you need an attorney you can trust to handle your case with professionalism and compassion. Liberty Law's experienced trial attorneys are committed to the defense of liberty for those accused. Don't let a criminal charge ruin your life. Call Liberty Law Group at 877-42-LIBERTY. Advocates you need, trial attorneys you can trust. That's 877-42-LIBERTY.
Back to the LIBA Business Hour on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. This segment sponsored by U-Stop and Whitehead Oil.
And you're back for the last segment of the LIBA Business Hour on 93.7 The Ticket. We're talking with John Olson of Olson and Pam Dingman, our county engineer. And so we were talking about all these different states that you're in. Are there any big projects that your company has worked on that people would know about?
Yeah, I would, I could think of a lot of big projects, but it might be like a intersection or an interchange, an interstate.
Nothing exciting.
I'm not sure that a ton of folks would know about that. I guess one I'm thinking of now is the St. Louis Arch. They kind of redid a lot of the area around that. We were involved in a lot of the soil science and the landscaping around the St. Louis Arch.
Oh, very cool.
So that was kind of fun to be part of that, and it got some national attention. So we
very
enjoyed
good.
that. Yeah.
Awesome.
And that's got to be. Have you ever been up in the arch? Did you guys go up in that thing?
Absolutely.
It's kind of freaky, that weird little like elevator 55-gallon drum that you're sitting in, and you can feel it sway if the wind's blowing. Yeah, very strange.
It's a little unnerving, I'll say.
So when it comes, so you said you did like a landscaping project, right?
Mhm.
But that's got to be almost an engineering feat, just with that much water that close to a structure that's that tall. That's got to be a heck of a challenge, trying to figure out how are we going to keep this thing from getting into soft soil, because it's got to be soft, right?
It does. Yeah. I think the part that we had involvement in was more about, was more of a sustainability project. Plants like to have a certain kind of soil.
Right.
And it was coming up with what is the recipe to make the earth below them the best it can be.
Okay.
So, which is not really engineering, but for better or worse, a lot of the things we do as engineers gets buried, right? Folks don't get to see it, but this is one where it's going to have a direct impact of things on the top.
Yeah.
And it's nice to be able to see that.
Very good. So if somebody out there is listening, wants to go in engineering, or is an engineer looking for an opportunity, I imagine you guys have lots of opportunities out there.
We have so many opportunities. In fact, I got on our website, olson.com, and I was kind of filtering through the career page, and I stopped counting at 200. So
oh my goodness.
So there's positions for all kinds of engineers and scientists and surveyors, not only in Lincoln, not only in Nebraska, but all across the country. So if anyone here listening is interested in this field, I would say hop on the website and kind of explore some of the offerings that we have, because there are so many of them.
And I would imagine you probably have just some regular office jobs too.
We have, great point. I'm glad you mentioned that. Yeah. I mean, the things we do to help bring in revenue or engineering and whatnot, but you've got to support that through shared services. We have a lot of need for accounting and finance people, invoicing, things of that nature. So you're right. It's business, it's finance, and also engineering.
Fantastic. So get on olson.com and spell it, because it's a little different.
It's a little different, but it's the way it began longer ago. They didn't change the spelling of Olson when they came over to Ellis Island way back when. It's OLSSON, 2 S's.
Fantastic. Olson.com with 2 S's.
Yes, sir.
We won't forget that. One story, if we have time, you were telling me about your grandfather I think it was your grandfather or great grandfather, when he first came to the U.S. and how he was surviving.
He was surviving with not a lot. So this would be my grandfather, Alban. He went to sea in Sweden when he was like 16 years old. Very, very hard life. But when they settled in Queens, I think he was actually a crew member on one of the J.P. Morgan yachts. Okay. So he kind of worked on the ship there to kind of take care of things. And then he also was a carpenter, and he kind of did what he could do to help make ends meet for the family. So.
And then how old was he when he got here?
He came, I think it was around 1901. So he was probably around 40, 35 maybe.
Okay.
Yeah.
And he was selling root beer, right?
That was my dad.
Oh, that was your dad.
That was my dad that was selling root beer. He manufactured and sell root beer out of the house. I'm not sure if you'd get away with that today, but
you
did.
should be able to get away with it today.
Yeah.
You still have the recipe?
It was never passed down.
Come on, Dad. What happened?
I have no idea. Although I do have his glug recipe. That was some kind of Swedish liquor that I remember he would make at Christmas time. You light it on fire. Pretty cool.
A drink that you light on fire. Okay, you can't just leave it at that. What is a drink that you light on fire?
I just know that I can remember seeing the prune soak in it, so somehow there's prune juice involved.
The Swedes come up with some things.
Yeah, they evidently do. Yeah,
I have a Swedish heritage too, and they come up with some stuff, man.
Yeah.
Yikes!
It was not good.
It does not sound good. No.
Yeah.
And isn't the Swedish? Don't they bury fish or something like that as well? Isn't that a weird recipe thing? What's it called again? I can't remember.
Ludifus. I don't know if I have it
Yeah,
right.
that sounds right.
Does that
Yeah,
sound about right?
It does. Yeah.
Very good. Well, we are wrapping it up. John, thanks for coming in and talking to us today.
Thank you so much. It's been fun.
So again, if you guys are looking for an opportunity in engineering, Olson.com with 2 S's. You're listening to the LIBA Business Hour on 93.7 The Ticket. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next week.
Slay the holidays this year with a gift that'll really get them going. One that's built to win, like the new